Okay, let's just dive right into the big one, shall we? How do you build a life that actually feels fulfilling? It's not just about chasing happiness. It's that deeper search for meaning, right? That thing that really drives pretty much everything we do.
So, you have the Dalai Lama saying that our ultimate goal might just be to achieve happiness. But what even is that? I mean, it's such a slippery concept, isn't it? One day happiness is that perfect cup of coffee. The next, it's landing a huge promotion. It's this feeling we're all chasing. But man, is it hard to pin down.
Right. So if those little moments of happiness aren't the whole story, what is? How do we find that deeper sense of purpose we're all looking for? Well, it turns out there's this one concept that, well, it promises to make sense of the whole shebang.
And this concept, it usually shows up in this really neat, super alluring package. I'm almost certain you've seen it floating around online. It's basically presented as this perfect, almost magical solution to one of the biggest questions we face in life.
It's called Ikigai. It's a Japanese concept, and it translates to something like a reason for being. Now, that's the version most of us in the West have been, well, sold. And the promise is huge, right? Find that one thing, that singular passion that gives you a real, genuine sense of purpose.
So this popular Western take on Ikigai breaks it all down into 4 simple questions, and they're usually shown as these overlapping circles. Okay, so first up, what do you love? Your passions. Then you've got, what are you good at? Your skills. Next, you layer in, what does the world need? Your contribution. And finally, the practical bit, what can you get paid for? Your career. It just looks so elegant, right?
And this is where it all comes together. That sweet spot in the middle where your passion, your mission, your profession, and your vocation all magically intersect. That's it. That's supposedly your Ikigai. The perfect job, the perfect calling, all tied up with a neat little bow in this one diagram. But let's be real for a second. You look at that, and yeah, it sounds amazing. But you can't help but think, okay, great, but how? Like, where's the manual for that? How in the world do you actually find that magical sweet spot in the middle of all the chaos of real life?
And that question, that how, that's exactly where this perfect little model starts to fall apart. Because life, as we all know, is anything but a neat Venn diagram. It's messy, it's unpredictable, and it almost never, ever follows a straight line.
In this kind of model, it creates an insane amount of pressure. Think about it. Our whole system is basically built to ask 17-year-olds to pick their entire life's purpose before they've even had a chance to, live. Now look, some people get lucky, for sure. You've got guys like Robert Plant from Led Zeppelin who said that as soon as he heard certain blues singers, bam, that was it. He just knew. But for, well, the rest of us, our journey is not a lightning strike. It's a meander. We try stuff, we fail, we completely switch gears, we get bored and find something new somewhere else.
And that's the whole point, right? The expectation is that our journey to purpose should be this clean, straight line to the perfect career. But the reality? It's so much more like what someone called a cubist painting. Just a jumble of fragments, weird angles, and experiments all pieced together over a lifetime.
Okay, so if chasing that perfect mythical intersection isn't the answer, then what is? Well, maybe, just maybe, we've been asking ourselves the completely wrong question this entire time.
This is a reframe from author Mark Manson that honestly changes everything. He says the real question isn't what do you want in life or what do you want to enjoy, it's what pain are you willing to endure? What struggle are you willing to sustain? Because let's face it, every single path has its own version of a struggle. The key is finding the one whose difficulties actually feel worth it to you. And that's the core idea right there. Your struggle? It's your signpost. The thing you're willing to put up with isn't some annoying bug in the system. It's the main feature. It's a giant flashing sign pointing you directly toward what you truly care about. Just think about it for a sec. The musician who puts in thousands of hours of practice, the entrepreneur who deals with the crushing stress of a startup, the activist who faces constant pushback. They don't do it because it's fun and easy all the time. No way. They do it because that specific struggle feels meaningful to them. That willingness to put up with the hard parts, that's the signpost.
Okay, so let's tie all this back together and look at Ikigai in a totally new light, not as some final destination you have to reach, but as something completely different.
See, the problem with that four-circle diagram is that it can easily become just another thing on your to-do list for self-improvement. It sets this ridiculously high bar, and it can make you feel like a total failure if you haven't found that one perfect thing.
So a much healthier way to think about it is to live toward Ikigai. And that means giving yourself permission to just explore, to quit things that aren't working for you anymore, to try something completely different just because. And while you're doing all that, notice which struggles actually feel kind of satisfying. That's how you find your direction, all while remembering that your purpose isn't static. It's going to change.
And this really brings us to the biggest mind shift of all. Don't think of Ikigai as a destination on a map, like a single X marks the spot that you have to find or you failed. Instead, think of it as a compass. It's not going to give you the final perfect answer, but what it will do is give you a direction to steer by, a way to navigate the messy, unpredictable, and beautiful journey of your life.
So, in the end, the goal isn't to find some perfect intersection on a diagram. It's to fully embrace the messy, wonderful experiment that is your life. It's about listening to the clues, especially those struggles that feel worthwhile. So take a second and ask yourself a real question. Right now, in this moment, what is your compass pointing to?